over there.
Good morning. You
wave to each other. As we now know, the Olympics have been postponed until next year, but something interesting that NBC has announced, the games will keep the name, so they'll still be called Olympic and Paralympic Games Tokyo 2020.
I like that.
So they're going to keep the year even though it's moved, and apparently the Olympic flame is going to remain lit in Japan and serve as a symbol of hope for the world.
I love that. I wonder how much of it was marketing as a decision. You know, they already maybe printed a lot of 2020 stuff.
Oh, all the stuff there.
And so to not lose all of that, you know, it was probably a smart decision. But I like it too. I think it feels good.
I think so too.
Something about that emotionally feels nice.
Yep.
I last night tried my first wine night online.
Oh,
with
how
friends.
was it?
It was great. I'll tell you this, it was hard. Here's four of us.
Check you out.
Yeah, all of us with our wine. They're all in Minnesota. That's my friend Thea and Nikki and Shannon. We had somebody who crashed our party because here's what happened. We tried using Zoom. A lot of people, so we're not all iPhone users, so we couldn't do FaceTime.
Okay.
So we tried using Zoom. It was too glitchy. It didn't work. So we figured there was a lot of people on at night because a lot of people are doing this now.
Yes.
So we switched to this app called House Party, and I got to tell you, it worked perfect.
And that's how you got that 4-screen thing?
Yeah, they all do that. They all do that.
Okay.
But that one in particular, we could hear each other. We could see there was no time delay. It was really fun. So if you haven't tried it with your friends and family, you can play games on that one.
And it's called House Party.
It's called House Party.
Now, is there a maximum number you can have in the group?
Don't know.
Interesting.
I haven't gotten that far.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's cool.
Speaking of trying new things, one of our viewers, Sally Zubarik, she tried that sidewalk paint recipe.
Aw.
And look what they did.
So
they did that. And then they went out and painted this. So she said, thank you so much for sharing that.
That's awesome.
Again, it was just 2/3 cup water, 1/2 cup cornstarch, and then food coloring. And you can paint with, you make like a paint sidewalk chalk.
So it sort of, you paint it on and then it probably dries like chalk?
Just like chalk.
That's so
Isn't that cool?
And
Thanks
such
for
an
sharing that,
uplifting.
Sally.
Yeah, that's awesome that she tried that. I love that.
I loved it.
There was an article about the most nutritious frozen foods that you can buy. And so, of course, vegetables and fruit are a great thing to buy frozen right now.
I always used to be a little like turn my nose up. I don't want frozen vegetables. And then I learned that's when they're frozen at their peak, like their peak nutrition value.
Peak freshness, and they're very nutritious. So they said as it relates to vegetables, think about things like squash, broccoli, kale, sweet potatoes, and cauliflower. A lot of people probably don't freeze sweet potatoes, but something great to freeze. When it comes to fruits, they recommend the dark fruits as being the best. So things like the cherries, the blueberries, the blackberries. And as it relates to grains, think about quinoa and rice. A lot of times you can buy those in packets now too to make it more convenient for cooking to be able to use some of those healthier grains.
I always freeze my bread. That's something I always freeze.
Really?
Because I you
don't use up a whole loaf.
I can't use a whole loaf. But I have sprouted grain as well, so I want it to last longer. So whether it's regular or sprouted grain, I always put it in the freezer.
The other thing is tortillas freeze really well, and they're so easy to thaw. Yeah, so it's another good thing to freeze especially if you're stocking up a little bit during these times.
Yeah, that's our sound off for today. Go to our Facebook page and sound off. What's one food that you always freeze?
I like that one.